everybody, and welcome back to Crafted by Corie. If you are new, I'm Corie, and I'm really happy that you're here. Thank you so much for watching. If you like today's crafts, give me a big thumbs up, and without further ado, let's get right into the crafting.
So here we go with DIY number 1. For this project, we are going to be using a burner cover from the Dollar Tree. This is a pack of 2. We're just going to use the large one. And the Every Moment Matters calendar. I'm going to be using the image from April, Keep On Fighting. So I'm going to go ahead and tear out my calendar page. I'm not too worried about that edge because I'm going to be cutting this in just a minute. So now I'm taking my burner cover, trying to identify where it needs to be on the page. I went back and just wanted to make sure that the image itself was centered so that when I cut this out, it will also remain centered. And so I'm just, my perfectionism is showing here, you guys. So just making sure that it's all lined up. I'm using a pen to mark it off. I know you can't really see my line there, but I had just traced the outline of the cover. So now I'm going to be coming in with some pink chalk paint that I had mixed up way long ago. And I'm using this on a few different projects, and I'm finally getting to the end of it. So I finished it up on this particular project, but giving my burner cover 2 coats of the paint just because I wanted to make sure that there was no chance that that original image would show through the image I'm going to be applying. Using, of course, my heat gun there to dry that off a little bit faster, and then cutting this around the circle that I had traced and just making sure that it's all good to go. And now I'm going to be applying it to the top of my burner cover using Mod Podge. And I did have a really sweet subscriber share a comment with me that if you spritz your page with water before doing this, it helps with wrinkles. Now, unfortunately, I saw the comment after I had been working on these projects, so I didn't have an opportunity to do it, and I also would need to get a little like spray bottle or something. But there's a little tip for you from one of our wonderful subscribers in case you'd like to give that a shot. And then once I had that on there, I'm coming back over with some additional Mod Podge just to seal it in, and I'm also going over the sides with that. Here I am with my heat gun again. You guys know I have no patience for waiting for that stuff to dry. And now I have a piece of pink ribbon, and I was determined to try to use this ribbon. I was thinking about the Hope ribbon. I'm thinking about wanting to just have something around this edge. So I finally went with just this little silver cord that I got from the Dollar Tree. And then I'll be coming back in with some pink ribbon in a minute. So while I am doing this, and as you can see, I'm just using some hot glue to go around the edge of the pan just to cover up where the edge of the paper is. But we are closing out the month of October, and as you may be aware, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So I just wanted to make one more project in the spirit of awareness and encourage every single one of you to take really good care of yourselves. Make sure that you're getting checked as necessary and follow your advice that you receive from your doctor. Really want everybody to stay healthy and safe and be well. So when I got to the end there, I went ahead and glued that down, and you can see it's just a nice little bling. And you guys know I like my bling too, right? So all good. So here I am with the ribbon again, and I wanted to make the Hope ribbon on this, but the ribbon I had to work with, and it is a wired ribbon, it was just too wide for what I was trying to do. So then I'm like, well, let me try and bend it in half. Can I manipulate it? Sometimes I get something in my head and I'm just determined to make it work, and it just was not going to work. So I finally gave up and I decided to just make a regular ribbon or a regular bow, I should say, with this ribbon, because this was the only ribbon I had this color, and this was the color that I really wanted to use. So I have my 4 little loops. I'm going to take an extra piece of the ribbon and tie it around the center, just in a simple knot around the center, and that is going to secure my bow. So I know that I offered to make a bow tutorial, and a few of you have raised your hand saying yes, that's of interest. So I do plan on doing some of that soon. And now I'm just trying to decide where I want to actually position my bow. And while I'm thinking about where I want it to be, I'm going to go ahead and dovetail my ends. So just folding that ribbon in half, cutting it at an angle. On the inside part, so that folded part, you go low and you go high towards the outside, and that gives it that dovetailing effect. So I've decided I'm going to off-center my bow, kind of have it at an angle. So I put a decent amount of hot glue on there, probably more than I needed, to be honest, and just secured my bow there. And then I decided I wanted to kind of tack down my ribbon where I wanted it, because I didn't want it to be covering up the words. And I did test this ribbon before I started using hot glue with it, just to make sure that the hot glue wasn't going to seep through it. So if you do plan to attempt using hot glue with a ribbon like this, I just recommend test with a little scrap piece of it first, just to make sure that it's not going to be visible or damage your ribbon, because there's nothing worse than damaging something that you're working hard on and want to have look pretty, right? So I would just test that first to be safe. So once I had all of this done, I knew that it needed something more, and I kept looking at it, and it's really pretty like that, right? I mean, it is, but I just felt like it was a little top heavy. And so here I am again with this ribbon. I'm still stuck on the Hope ribbon, you guys. So I'm like, well, maybe I could trim this ribbon in half and maybe make a little Hope ribbon out of it that I can put down there at the bottom. But you know, it was fraying on the edges, and then I'm like, oh, well, that kind of makes a little bit of a neat effect. Maybe I could still do it. And so I'm still messing with this and looking at it. I'm like, I finally just gave up. I'm like, no, it's not gonna happen. It is just not meant to be for this particular project. So instead, I went to my stash. Well, I guess first of all, I was still thinking about it. So this is just a tab off of a soda container, and I am lining it up on the back, and it was slippery. I'm sorry, you guys, you probably hear Sammy shaking around over here next to me, but used the soda can tab with some hot glue. This is going to be my hanger. So then I had gone to my stash, and I had these really pretty flowers from the Hobby Lobby that I've had for a while, and they were the perfect color. So I've got these pretty little pink flowers. And you know what? This is something that now can be reminiscent or a remembrance of breast cancer awareness, but it's not kind of blatantly breast cancer awareness. So it really could be used as any type of decor, right? So it's almost got like not a hidden meaning, but a subtle meaning to it, right? So keep on fighting. It's got the soft pinks, but it could really be more versatile. It could serve for something more than just breast cancer awareness, but still the sentiment is there. So I actually really love the way this piece came out, and I hope that you're enjoying it as well. So as you know, I always pull my picks apart. So I am just layering them on a little bit at a time, because that helped me manipulate these the way that I wanted them. So I literally did a single stem at a time, glued them on at the tip of the stem all the way up and around. Excuse me. And then as I got to the top, I started tucking it under the ribbon. Now, had I thought that I was going to be putting the flowers on here from the beginning, I would have done that first and then applied my bow. So just a word to the wise and a tip for you if you decide to try to create this. Isn't it pretty? I love this piece. So I wanted to make you all aware of Coffee with Corie. This is a new series that I am implementing starting this Sunday. You might have seen it in my community page, on my community page, but I will be live the first Sunday of each month at 10 a.m. And I'm really looking forward to chatting with all of you and answering any questions you have. And we've got something really special to kick all of this off, because obviously I am using a lot of calendars today. So I am doing a Dollar Tree calendar giveaway. I have, I think, 6 calendars at the time of this recording, but I will be looking for some more before Sunday. But you do not need to be present on Sunday to win, but I will be reserving some of the calendars to those who are live with me on Sunday morning. So I hope that you will join me. And in the meantime, leave a comment below about your favorite project when you get to the end of this video, and you'll be entered to win. So here we go with DIY number 2. So another calendar. This is a Simply Blessed. I'm also using a pizza pan, and this is a Lazy Susan mechanism that I got off of Amazon. I've got my Mod Podge. I've got my Rust-Oleum linen white that I'm now putting on the edge of my pizza pan, and then I have my Home Decor chalk paint in black that I'm going to apply, as you see here, to the edge. I'm butting that up against the white, and then I'm going to be coming in a couple of inches on the pizza pan itself, because I know that my image is not going to extend all the way out to the edges of the pan all the way around. So I just wanted to make sure that the black continued on. So now I'm taking my craft knife and I'm using my mechanism, my Lazy Susan mechanism, because I had noticed that it would fit directly into the pizza pan. So I was using this as a guide to get that curved edge and to hopefully get it to a size that was going to fit. And then I used my straight edge, lined that up with my cutting mat so that I was making sure that everything was nice and straight. Because again, I just feel like I need to have things the way that I want them. So cutting off that edge, and then I didn't like that hole up at the top, so I'm going to cut that off as well. And just cutting off what I absolutely have to in order to make that hole go away. It probably would have been hidden with the black paint on the pizza pan anyway, but I just decided that needed to go away. So that's what I did. So when I did go ahead and set that in the pan, however, it was still just a tad too big. So I lined it all up again, of course, but I used my mechanism one more time, and I just slid it up a little bit higher on each edge. Hopefully that's making sense. And then I just trimmed off a little bit more so it would fit. All right, spray adhesive, you guys. This is my Elmer's. This was not such a great idea. It looked great when I first put it on there. Had I not been planning on covering this up with Mod Podge afterwards, it probably would have been fine. However, and I love my Arteza little squeegee, by the way. This really is nice. It's got that kind of felt surface on it, and so it doesn't scratch the surface of what you're doing. But anyway, had I not been putting Mod Podge on top of this afterwards, it probably would have been fine. But I was, and because I'm intending to use this as a little Lazy Susan on my kitchen table, and so I'm going to be putting, salt and pepper shakers on there, my little napkin holder, all that stuff, and just a pretty piece for my kitchen table. So yeah, without having Mod Podged it underneath, I was having major issues with this wrinkling, and I don't think you're going to see it nearly as much. Well, you can see it a little bit there because it's still drying, but it was bad. So I don't recommend the spray adhesive if you're planning on going over it with the Mod Podge. But I waited for it to dry enough so that I could flip it over, and now I'm using my Gorilla Glue as I just showed you. I'm going around the edge of the mechanism, and then I'm also going to be coming in with some hot glue for that immediate bond. So I've got my long-term hold with the Gorilla Glue, and then I've got my hot glue with the instant bond so that I can keep working on the project. So applying that to the bottom of the pizza pan, and then we're good to go. So you can see those wrinkles, how bad they are. I mean, it's better when it dries, but still, learn from my mistakes, right? Here we go with DIY number 3. So Here we go with a wood round from Arteza, and I do have a new code for you guys, so it's going to be good through end of November if you are interested in a 10% off coupon. It's in my description box. But this is a scorch marker that I picked up from Amazon. I'd been looking for it at Michael's forever, and my Michael's has been out of them, so I finally gave up and ordered it on Amazon. And then this is the Simply Blessed calendar. Now, you guys, you can use any image you want. I know this calendar has been really hard to find, so forgive me for using this one, but I just love this calendar and I had to do it. That being said, you can use any image you want. If you've got another calendar that's got a really pretty image on it that you want to use, you can certainly use that. There are all kinds of things online that you can just print off and cut out. I'm simply cutting this into a circle so that it'll fit on my wood round, and then I'm going to Mod Podge it on. This is like the theme today. It's calendars and Mod Podge. Lots and lots of Mod Podge with my calendars. So I'm gonna seal it with the Mod Podge over the top. And you know, it's interesting because this was the cover of the calendar and the paper was a little bit thicker, I didn't have any issues with the wrinkles. And again, you know, if you've ever tried that water method where you spray it with the water first, let me know how that worked for you. I still have yet to try that because I, again, just recently heard that from one of my subscribers. So looking forward to trying that out. So here I go with the scorch marker. This is my first time using one of these. I had seen Natalie from Designed to the Nines do this, and I thought it was the neatest thing, and so I've been dying to do it. So you basically just draw on your image with the scorch marker, and then you come back in with a heat gun or a hairdryer, something that's going to be able to heat it up. The more heat, the more of a burn effect that it's going to give you. So I've got my image on here, and so I'm coming in with my heat gun, and you can see this particular scorch marker was like almost like a reddish color when it went on, and now you can see it starting to become like that dark wood burned kind of look. And it's a non-toxic marker, so the one that I have, and I can link it in my description box, but this one, it's non-toxic, and it was very hot, so be careful, let it cool before you start touching it. But non-toxic, so it's safe if you want to do something like this with kids. Obviously, you don't want them handling the heat gun, but they could certainly draw the image if that's something that you have interest in. So this is the twine that came with my Arteza wood rounds, and I had just cut off a length that was sufficient for creating my hanger. I looped it through, brought up a loop, and then tucked the ends through so it was securing it. And now I'm just putting a simple knot at a height that I think is appropriate for being able to hang this on a tree branch, because this is going to be like a Christmas ornament. And then doing a simple tie your shoes kind of bow at the top. And that's it. So it's time for our shout out time out, and here we go. Super cute Sherry. Sherry has been busy. Look at all of these awesome projects. She's got a bunch of Dollar Tree projects and some other things that she's been working on. The magnets that she did, the wall hangings, these are just great. Thank you for sharing, Sherry. And if you'd like to have a shout out during our timeout, please send me an email at craftedbycorie@gmail.com. And here we go with DIY number 4. So here we go. I've got 2 calendars for this one, as well as some floral wire. I also have a little drawer pull and a skewer from the Dollar Tree. This is the Be Brave calendar and the Simply Blessed calendar, and I'm just cutting out those 2 little images in the bottom corners. One is the Peace on Earth, and the other, I'm honestly trying to remember what it says because, again, I'm doing this late at night and I'm a little brain dead. So forgive me. We will see it momentarily. But I am trimming these down to be the same size. And we are going to be making like a little street sign. Oh, and so here is what I'm doing, you guys. If you watched my last video and you saw my little snowman, and I just have to say thank you to all of you who commented on that last video. I am still making my way through all of the comments. I am just so humbled and overwhelmed, and just I feel the love. So thank you so much. I appreciate every single one of you. I will make it through all of the comments. If you have not heard from me yet, you will. So thank you for your patience. But that little snowman is going to be he was the kickoff to the series. I'm going to be doing little miniatures for a complete Christmas village over the course of the next several weeks. So if we do each of these projects over the course of the weeks, in the end, we will have our own little Christmas village or snow village, whatever you want to call it. So I just used some double-sided tape to secure the two little calendar pieces, because I'm making a double-sided sign. So this is going to be like a little street sign. A word to the wise again, learn from my mistakes. If I had to do it again, I would not have sealed them yet. I would have waited until I was ready to add my little hangers on to my little sign, and then I would have sealed it all together. So I was able to recover it, but it just would have been a lot easier if I had done it the other way. So I'm using my floral wire, and I am kind of bending it around, and I think I did zoom in here in a minute for you so you could see a little bit better what I'm doing. But I curved the piece around on the end, and then I'm going to take my wire so you can see that a little bit. It's kind of like a little curly Q on the end. And then I'm going to take my wire cutters, and I'm figuring out exactly how long I want it to be. And then I'm going to cut the other end off, and then I'm going to twist that as well. So my little winter village pieces, all these miniatures, that's going to be one series. And then if you watched the last video, you know that I did a gift idea of bath salts. So I'm also going to be doing gift ideas for each of my videos for the next several weeks as well. So we'll have a whole bunch of gift ideas and a whole bunch of miniatures to either put on a tiered tray, which is what I'm doing with them for right now until I have enough pieces for my snow village and we get a little bit closer to the holidays. And then we'll also be able to use it for our winter village or our Christmas village. So here I came in and I'm trying to attach my little sign holder with hot glue, and that did not work. But just that day I had received from Starbond some glue, a whole bunch of different glues, and I'm excited to tell you more about them. I will be using them a lot more in upcoming videos. There is a code for that in my description box as well for 10% off if you have interest there. But they are a bunch of different super glues, and you know what, you guys, it worked fantastic. I've never used the Starbond before this project, and I was really, really happy to have it because my hot glue was failing me. So you can see right here that I'm peeling off the hot glue because trying to put my little wire on there for my hangers was just not working. So here I am with the Starbond, and this is the medium. They have medium, they have thick, and then they have thin. So the thin is like watery. I've not tried it yet, but I was reading all the descriptions on these, and they've got these great little nozzles so that you can really get into tight spots with them. It was really fantastic, and it held really well. So more to come on Starbond in future videos as well. So now I had taken a little tiny piece of wire that I had in my stash, and like I said, if I had to do it over again, I would have attached these first and then sealed the two pieces of the calendar together, because I definitely struggled here a little bit, especially since those wires were so small. I also would have made the wires longer had I not already sealed the calendar together. I was keeping them short purposely here because I knew I only had a little bit of wiggle room to work with at the top of my calendar. So here I'm adding a little bit more of this double-sided tape from the Dollar Tree, which is awesome, you guys. I love that. It's the first time I've found it, first time I'm using it, and I really liked it. So I finally got that little sucker in there and I was able to seal that off. So I'm making it look a lot harder than it really is. But there you are. And I've got my little sign, two-sided. So now I'm going to be dropping that skewer right into the drawer pull where the screw normally would go. And I'm trimming it down. I'm trying to decide how tall I want it. And I'm just taking off a little bit at a time because you can always take off more. You can't add it back on once you cut it. So I get it to a length that I'm happy with, and I just fill it all up with hot glue, and I stick my skewer down inside and just hold it for a moment while the hot glue cools so that it'll stay in place. Now, I hadn't accounted for the weight of the wire when I first tried this. I was like, oh yeah, it's a little top heavy now. So I came in with my Dollar Tree magnets. It didn't stick to this drawer pull because of whatever the material was. It's just not magnetic. So I did use some hot glue to secure that. But then I decided, yeah, it works, but I added another magnet just magnetically, just to be safe. So now I'm coming in with my Arteza acrylic paints in candy apple red and marshmallow white, and again, learn from my mistakes. Had I to do over again, I would have painted it first. I just honestly had been thinking about leaving it the natural wood color, and then ultimately I decided no, I really wanted to have it white, and then I'm going to make my base, no, I'm sorry, I wanted it to be red, and then I'm going to make my base white. So I was just really careful, and the coverage, you know, I'm really enjoying the Arteza products, you guys. The coverage with these paints is fantastic. So now I'm coming in with my white, and I did do a couple of coats on the white. I only did one coat on the red, and then I did do a couple of coats on the white. So there you have it. Let me know in the comments what you think. Good tidings of comfort and joy, I think is what it said. DIY number 5. Okay, so this is our gift idea. This is a piece of, it's made of wood, and there we've got our Waverly Antique Wax, and I'm using the wine calendar, and these you can still find, at least I'm still finding them, you guys. But this, I don't even know what you'd call it, tray? I'm making a tray out of it, so I guess it's a tray. I had gotten it as a gift with a little food package last Christmas, so it was the container that the little food gift had come in. So I am just going over all of it with the wax. I did not bother with the inside bottom because I am going to be covering that up. So I just made sure that it was all good to the extent that it needed to be for the part that might possibly show around the edges. Hopefully that's making sense. So I trimmed this down and just got it so that it was going to be a good snug fit. Coming in again, shocker, more of the Mod Podge. So I am Mod Podging the bottom, setting in my image, and just making sure that it is all nice and secure. And here I am with my little squeegee again. I love this thing. So I had left it like that for a few days, and I was just thinking I wanted something else. So I did come back a couple of days later, and with my hot glue, I am applying this cord. I think it's like a cotton cord. And to be honest, I'm not sure where I got it from. I want to say I got it from Walmart. I am not certain. I've had it in my stash for a while, but it's like, it's almost white. It's like a cream color. And I decided I was just going to put this around the edge. I always just like to have my edges nice and neat. So anytime I'm using these calendar pages, I just kind of like to cover up that edge for whatever reason. And so I started in the corner, and now I'm finishing in the corner, and I'm just going to make sure that that's nice and secure in there, nice and smooshed in. And this is just a cute little tray, right? I just thought this image was adorable. So here we go for our final reveal.
Okay, everybody, that's it for today. I hope that you enjoyed today's projects. If you did, please give me a big thumbs up. Also, if you haven't yet subscribed, I hope that you'll hit the subscribe button and be sure to ring the little bell so that you get notified every time I upload a new video. Be sure to join me on Sunday for Coffee with Corie. I would love to chat with you, so I hope you'll join me then, and make sure you comment so that you get entered to win the Dollar Tree calendars. Really looking forward to giving those away. And remember, if you join me on Sunday, you'll have a better chance of winning. So until the next time, be well, be kind, and make it a great day. Thank you again so much for watching. Take good care. Bye.